Welcome back to Modern Homestead Alaska. I am Jessica. If you are new around here, I have an all things pantry video and an Azure haul for you today. I am having to put things away, deal with the stuff we've talked about and shopped for in the past, and I wanted to share a little bit of how I have adjusted what I'm doing in other areas of what I would consider my pantry, which is the freezer and some things like that. So it's a little bit of all over, but it's all food, all pantry, all stocks, all preps. Let's go. So here is something I have been working on with my stocks, my kitchen, freeze drying, freezers, all of the things. How is it kind of working out together? The first thing I want to say is anything I have pulled out of my garden, I have processed. So whether it's mid-process, like it's in the freezer waiting to go into the freeze dryer, something like that, it's done. I finished everything. And now the weather is taunting me. It is supposed to have been frosting by this week in general. You know, when you follow those, when's your first and last frost date? It's not, and it's not calling for a frost. We need to give the onions, the carrots, and the tomatoes as long as possible. So when I say it's taunting me, I want to go out there and just be done with the garden for the season, and I can't because I need the produce as much as possible to finish out. So another part of my pantry and things that we do that we've done on this channel before is I stock things in my pantry. These are tortillas that I get from Azure. They're great. We eat so many tortillas around here. I just bought the giant box of organic ones and I just throw them in the freezer and we pull them out as we need them. And then I was watching Farmhouse on Boone. Her and her sister, they both have channels, Our Oily House and Farmhouse on Boone. And what they do is they just go to their freezers and they pull out meat, they stick it in a bowl, and they don't necessarily have like a game plan. They don't say like, on this day we're roasting a chicken and on this day we're making a bacon pizza or whatever the case is. They defrost it and then they just go with the flow. My kitchen is very go with the flow, and I thought, you know what, that could really work for me. I didn't share about it because I wasn't sure if it would work for me or if I would follow through with that. So for the last couple weeks, what I have been doing is just that. No plan. I just go to the freezer, what's kind of on top, grabbed today a couple of things of ground beef. Yesterday we had a chicken breast. We've had meatloaf. We've had a prime rib roast. Whatever was just kind of at the top, we need to work our way through these things, grab it out, stick it in the fridge, and then I just figure out what's in the pantry. What can I make to go alongside of this? We came in from hunting the other day. Just Aaron and I were hungry, we were tired. I had already some defrosted hamburger. I have some beans ready to go. I made refrieds and the ground beef. We don't normally buy the corn, like crispy taco shells. I had some of those in the pantry, grabbed those out so we could work our way through them. We just made really quick tacos, and the amount of time it would take me to go to just get to the store, dinner was done. So that is working really, really well. What else I have going on is we have been building meals and putting them in the freeze dryer. Currently right behind you can't see it. I have 2 empty freeze dryer trays in the freezer, pre-freezing. I have a bunch of spaghetti. So what I thought when I went down there is instead of making a big meal, I would see what I could freeze dry that would be really good take along for the hunting and fishing and camping and all of that. And I found these bags of Aaron's homemade chili. He does it with like a smoky type flavor. It's a totally different chili than how I make it, but it really is good. These 2 bags should fill a tray, and then this bag of chili as well should fill a tray. It'll go in the freeze dryer with the spaghetti, similar enough. One shouldn't make the other taste badly. Like they tell you, don't freeze dry onions and strawberries at the same time. Your strawberries are going to taste like an onion. These things can go in with spaghetti, no problem. And then I thought tortillas, hamburger, and I saw this small bag of green chili. I thought, oh, that's perfect. There's an already cooked roast that I froze, and then I grabbed a bottom beef roast that's uncooked. So all of this will go in the fridge to defrost. As soon as I can just maneuver the chili enough to get it on the sheet trays, it'll go. And then that'll be my next freeze dryer load. So I thought I'd kind of touch base on what am I doing in my kitchen and how am I making what we have frozen and we have in the pantry actually work for us currently. We have talked about before on here that having a pantry like what I have is a constant job. It can be a full-time job if you are not staying on top of it. It can be very, very time-consuming and so on. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to refill the jars. These are much easier for me to grab than the boxes. The boxes are easy for me to grab today because they're empty. And then I'll use one of the kids or someone's help. They'll go up the ladder. I'll hand them the full box and they'll put it up there. But I do need to refill all of the jars and then the boxes and put away everything that we purchased, because what is the point in having all of this if we don't have it in a way that we can reach it easily? This is super loud, and so is my washer. Hold on. All right, if you can hear me. What we bought at Walmart, had in that video, and we had the conversation, the morale, and all of that. This is not a year's worth of pasta for our family. This may get us through a couple of months, but it is amazing to have these things on hand, especially heading into winter. Jeez, what did I put in that washer? Well, we're not anything if we are not a real running family and home around here. If there is not some background noise and some crazy things going on, am I even really living here anyway? I do not just throw the pasta in the pantry. This is one of the items that I do really attempt to have like items with like items. That way, when I send one of the kids, because they will not look, I'm just going to tell you, they'll go, oh, I can't find the bow ties. But if all the bow ties are together, I know where they're at, they know where they're at, they're easy to find. It makes life a little bit simpler that way. It's work on the front end, and on the back end, it's faster when it comes to putting dinner and life together. As promised, per those of you that have watched me and know I like to fall off of ladders, I don't enjoy it. I just seem to do it a lot, so I must enjoy it. Who knows? Like I promised, the heavy weight and heavy lifting would belong to one of my children. Yes, they are available to help. Yes, they do help so much around the homestead. They just don't always enjoy being on camera. And the other thing that they enjoy less than being on camera is talking on camera. So getting them worked through those kind of awkward feelings, and it's a hard thing to put yourself out there. So I did get help. Cody was fantastic. I truly enjoy her. Her spirit is just, she's one of my favorite people to have ever lived. Thank you to Cody for the help. She was just being so silly on this day. She was cracking us up. behind the scenes. And anyway, I then moved on and stocked up these morale items that we talked about in the previous video. If you haven't seen that, that's part of my pantry playlist. And if you're interested in all the different areas of my pantry, there is a playlist. This video is included in it, so it should automatically, or you should be able to look up the different videos that just are pantry associated videos. I came out here in the middle of recording because it is glorious out. Holy, it is probably one of the most beautiful days I've had in the longest of times. Just incredible. And I know you may hear that over and over on the channel, but I love sharing it with you when it happens. And then I'm trying not to, your spirit, your heart, it all can get down when you focus on the negative. And so I'm trying not to focus on all of the rainy days and the negativity. And so I try and share with you when the sun is just shining, is the perfect fall day. The leaves are changing. It is fantastic. So I hope you enjoyed a little bit of garden footage. I came out here to see if I could mow. It is drenched. The dirt is drenched, so it's just gonna have to get turned and be what it is moving forward. Any day now, a frost is gonna hit and we're gonna be done for the year in the garden. But we back to the pantry because we have so much to accomplish in that pantry, whether or not the frost comes. You're a dirty girl. So I just waited until the chili was at least flexible enough to, it's still mostly frozen, but get it on the trays, because to freeze dry on the trays, we need to have it beneath the edge if at all possible. And so these 2 bags here made one freeze dryer tray, and then the other big gallon bag makes its own freeze dryer tray as well. And I am able to completely load up the freeze dryer on top of all the other areas of the pantry. And the reason I'm talking about freeze drying along with Azure and all these different things is the understanding that my pantry in my head is broken down into so many different categories. Even the way that we store things is broken down. I don't know how you run your pantry, but I'm here to just give you tips or tricks or ideas of how I do things, and just be honest with the things that work well and the things that aren't working well for us, and share all those things. If you're interested, hit the subscribe button, tag along. We do a lot of pantry content around here. I'm in the pantry. Guess what this is? I'm kind of on the cart, so I might be wiggling. Oh, okay. This is my Azure order. It came all in one box. Well, 2 boxes. I have something to show you that I didn't tell you that I had added to the order that Azure is now carrying. I'm going to keep that for last. But let's cut this bad boy open. Why am I in the pantry? Because I know what I ordered. Girls and boys. Girls and boys. Da, 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 da. You were here. We ordered it together. We were friends. So, I am in the pantry because I am going to attempt for the first time, instead of dragging all of these jars into the kitchen to fill them there, we're going to try and just fill everything here in the pantry. Decant it in here. Anything that needs to go to the basement, we will certainly do that. So on think, yep. This entire box is spices. And then this. Remember that Azure always encloses next month's sales flyer. So you can thumb through this when you're sitting on the couch at night, whatever the case is. I had to delete a very rambling, long statement. And so I just cut right back in and say something I want to say about one of the bonuses and benefits of Azure. So sorry about that. You can do is Azure offers everyone, no matter who you are, when you place your order and you're just with Azure, there's no sign-up fees, there's no memberships, nothing. So what they do is they give you a Share Azure code. That's the code I need you to use if you are finding Azure through me, and then let me know that you used my code. If you spend, I think it's like $100, $125, something like that, super easy for me to do, I get $25. Then what happens, you get a code, share it with your friends and family, and every time someone uses that code, the first and only one-time deal, you get $25. That really, truly puts food on our table. And a big portion of this, I was able to add on what I'm going to show you simply because some of you have used my Azure code. So I thank you with every fiber of my being. I have barely shopped this month, and I'm telling you, the thought of it is making me sick to my stomach because our budget has changed a little bit. Things happen in everyone's life. Wyatt had a big injury. We had some big bills come in over the summer, that sort of thing. So as our family kind of adjusts to it, but the inflation with food is just, it's mind-blowing. It's becoming winter here in Alaska. And so instead of panicking, I'm going to praise God that some of you out there used my code and you literally put food on my family's table, and I thank you for that. So enough. Let's start decanting. Now, someone had asked me, do I just add onto the top, or do I dump out the spice, put the new in the bottom and the old on top? Yes and yes. I do both. Here is why. We're gonna run through this red pepper flake before I would even need it to be fresh on the bottom and the other. I've literally had someone comment on the red pepper flake that in their lifetime they would never use this amount of red pepper flake. We will use this in the next like month and a half. So if this were low and I decided to fill it up, I would just fill this guy from the top. Oregano. If oregano started getting low because of the kind of spice it is and the frequency of use, I would literally either let this go all the way out, wash the jar, and then refill it, or say it was down here, I would dump that out, and then I would put the fresh in and the old stuff on top. So yes and yes, I do both when we're decanting. So when you watch me and you're going, girl, on the cinnamon, I wouldn't have just poured new cinnamon on top. That's fine. You do you. Do it exactly how you want in your kitchen. I know how quickly we go through these spices, and it's going to totally be different, my cooking style, than yours. So do it your way. So let's find the black pepper. This we've been dying to have in the house. I'm just gonna scoot you over because this originally was supposed to be open working counter space. The girls are here. Girls! What are you doing?
Leaving.
Where are you going?
To bingo.
Bingo? Without me? They went to bingo without me. Can you believe it? Okay, so here we go. I have you here. We're gonna do this, friends. Chop her open. Fill her up. black pepper. Next up, Montreal steak seasoning. That in. So it takes about 2 bags, depending on the spice, to fill one of these. Can be 3, can be like 1 if it is something real lightweight like oregano, because it's by the weight, it is not by the volume. So with that, I just keep kind of a gauge, and because I don't, these, once you open these, that's why my spices are stored the way that they are. Once you open this, it's floating around. You're spilling onion powder everywhere. Can you imagine that? So that is why I'm not going to open any spices that I cannot use the entire bag. Something else. This is a new guy for me. I don't have a jar for this, so I had to find a jar, and I have a lid. And you guys have asked about dates and labels and so on. The labels were made by my neighbor. You could make them on like a Cricut or something like that. And no, she doesn't sell them. So what I do with a brand new spice, first time go around, I'm gonna put it on here. I'm gonna write on the lid what it is, and I am gonna put a date on it. The reason I'm gonna do that is I'm gonna see how long did it take me to use this. Is this something worth giving space in my pantry to, or is it not? I don't know. We might not like as much. I use a ton of chicken bouillon, so chicken flavored broth, gluten-free, GMO-free, all of that fun stuff. But what if I don't like the flavor of this one and it takes us forever, or it goes rancid before we ever use it? Obviously, I'm not going to reorder that. And because I've never bought it before, I'm not going to use buy like a whole half gallon and devote this much pantry space to something I've never tried. So that kind of answers a few questions on how I introduce new things and what I give space to and why. So I will find a use for this. This is the mushroom soup blend. This was fantastic. We got it last year, but I haven't quite used all of it. I should have used this the other day when I made some stroganoff, but I was worried for some reason. I don't know why I didn't contemplate that I had already ordered some of this. I should have used this up. I didn't. So this week I'm going to find a use for it and then wash the jar, make an actual label instead of it just saying it on top, and then I will fill that. So this one will just set aside only for about a week or so that we don't just drag filling jars on and on and on. Let me just tell you what's in here, and then I'm gonna pull jars from the kitchen. It's gonna be a little bit more of a production than I was hoping for, but that's okay. So you saw the mushroom soup blend. Like I said, had ran into the kitchen. Onion powder. I'm gonna fill the onion powder from this onion powder, and then we have more onion powder. We have garlic powder. We have 1, 2, 3 times 1 pound cinnamon. I will certainly use that. We only grabbed the 1 chili powder because as much as I use chili powder, I don't use a ton of it when I use it, and I don't use it quite as frequently as everything else. The garlic powder is also a 3 times 1 pound. The mustard seed, I do go through about a pound of this a year. So we only got 1 additional pound of that. The ginger root, we only go through about a pound of this a year. So we got 1 of those. The onion powder, I should have told you, is 3 times 1 pound is what I actually bought. Okay, and then the beef broth, same thing. I I can see it, so I'll grab it. This is all I have left. This is what I bought last year. This seems to be a year's worth of the beef broth powder and the mushroom soup powder. Red pepper flakes we had actually ran out of and had to get some from Three Bears and then dip into the storage I keep in the overflow in the basement. So we go through that much. That's just the onion powder. The white pepper, I'm trying to decide. I think this will fit in one of these jars. I have some white pepper in one of these jars. I don't think I had gotten it from Azure. I think I got it from the grocery store just to try out and see if we used it. We use it in a lot of smoking recipes, and so I committed to the Azure white pepper. That was, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe one of the most expensive things I bought. And then I have one of the 1 pound bags of peppercorns left, and then one of the medium and a hot chili powder. So that also contributes to not using a ton of chili powder, is because I use a hot and then like a regular medium chili powder. So that was what was in there. Cumin seed, did I tell you? 3 times 1 pound. We use that much cumin. But that's a year's worth of cumin. So the cumin, I won't order again. The black pepper I'll order again. The red pepper flakes and some other things I'll probably have to pick up from Azure a little later, either this year, because we're already into September, October, maybe in 2023, but certainly in the first part of 2024, we'll have to grab some of that. So I was going to show you the item that I'm going to try. I love the Young Living Thieves. I'm not like part of the whole Young Living thing anymore, but they had a 5 Thieves blend. This is clove bud, lemon, cinnamon, eucalyptus, and rosemary. Forgive me with the lighting and my eyes trying to read that tiny writing right there, but this is the item I decided to try on Azure. I love to put this crazy cold and flu with Vicks Vapor Rub on the bottom of our feet, things like that. I will do it in the air. You do your own thing with the oils, but that's what I chose to get. Did you know that Azure sells household items, oils? They sell like fabric to quilt and make all sorts of just wild, wild things. So make sure you check out their website. The link is in the description box, and I'll probably post it in a comment. Do you want to see the item that they are now carrying that I'm so excited about? Of course you do. Let me grab it. You were sitting on it the whole time. Here it is. Can you read that? This is 12 wide mouth quart jars. Let me just tell you, up here in Alaska, my friend Amy can vouch for this. We could not find wide mouth jars for a while, and I tried everywhere. Walmart, the grocery store, Home Depot. I don't know if you know that they sell jars. I tried everywhere. Now, I was able to find some pint size, and the weird part about the shelving behind you, it is built for the height of a wide mouth jar on all of the instances, and a regular mouth jar pushes on the top, and I don't like the way that the jar is jammed in here. Now, it's not to where I can't move it, but look at that. That is super duper tight, hopefully with the light. But jump over here and look at how much space I have with a wide mouth jar. Same case down here. So this is a regular mouth and this is a wide mouth. So with the wide mouth I have this, with the regular mouth I have that. So even though there is not weight on the jar, my shelves were not designed or measured because I just measured. We had jars in here, and so because I prefer the wide mouth ones. Anyway, it's a whole thing, but look at this. Aren't these beautiful? They have Azure's logo on them. Let me see if the lighting is, let me move for the lighting. Okay, is that better? Okay, Azure, what if I put something in it? Can you see? Ah, that doesn't help at all. Okay, sorry about that. But they are beautiful. They have Azure's logo. They have like a mountain and some wheat. Azure here, canning company. This is a beautiful, beautiful jar. So thank you, those who have supported. I got these jars on you. With that, I will can with those jars and let you know how they do. If I have any issues or whatever, I will truly keep you posted. If you have tried Azure's new canning jars, let me know about that in the comment section. I really am interested in some other input on them because it is something that they just started doing. So very, very exciting. Thank you, Azure. Thank you to my subscribers. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for watching this video. I know that it was just dealing with the food, the pantry, the stock today, all of the things that go into it, the amount of time and effort that go into them. And then when you guys show up and watch it, it makes me feel appreciated. I don't know how else to say that, but I feel like you appreciate what I share and what I'm showing you, and maybe learning something along the way. So thank you for actually showing up and being part of the channel. And with that, if you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, you'll get notification, thumbs up and comments all help our channel to grow. If you know someone that would benefit from this video or any of our others, please, please, please share our channel. I appreciate each and every one of you. We'll see you in the next video.